Well, you're a hypocrite. Matter of fact, everybody is a hypocrite. But the question is, how big of a hypocrite are you? Now, matter of fact, I'm a hippopotamus. I'm a hippopotamus problem, and I'm a hippopotamus size of a hypocrite. Okay? Now, I'm here to share with you today, how do I say, the fruit of my labor. In college, I went to school. In my undergrad, I studied psychology a little bit. Now, in psychology, there's something called self-descriptancy theory, and this is something about congruency, and I talk about this a lot, actually. In congruency, well, in self-descriptancy theory, in which we talk about congruency, it's this idea of your actual self and your ideal self. And many times, our ideal self are what we are ideally like. Kind, loving, generous, whatever it may be. Now, the actual truth, the actuality, is that many of us are very far from our actual self. Now, let's talk about the problem at hand here. Okay? The proof is in the papaya. The proof is in the papaya. I can sit here all day and I can tell you about how this is the best papaya that you've ever had. When in reality, it doesn't mean anything to you unless you actually taste it. And how much better would it be if this was the best papaya in the world and I got to share it with everybody in the world? That would positively impact every person's life, having to taste the best papaya in the world. Now, it's the same way. And how we talk about and how we are in the world. We can talk about how we're the best papaya in the world, how we're a great person and how we want to do this and that, or how we're like this or that. But the proof is in the papaya. Unless you actually do that and actually have a positive impact on the world, what you say or what you think about yourself doesn't mean anything at all. Now, oh, I wish I could share that with you. I'm gonna set this down for now. I'm gonna mail you a piece of it though, okay? You know, I went to college and probably stuck in my throat there actually. And you know, I ended up making my way away from the church. Well, I challenged every fundamental belief that Christianity posited upon me. And what I learned from that after I took a step back was very troubling, you know. I saw Christians were very judgmental. There was a lack of love. And it seemed like an excluding of other people who were not like them or who would not conform to be like them. And in all actuality, this pissed me off. I couldn't believe that I was a part of it. And I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. Okay? Now, you know, as time went on and through this discovery, I became very angry. You know, I became bitter and actually very resentful of Christians and the church. I cussed out some people, folks. I won't even lie. I went off on people, you know. I went off on evangelists, people at my school, you know, but I knew all along that this really was not, how do I say, Christ-like. Because even though I left, I still knew that, and the crazy thing about it is I continued to have revelation knowledge of who Jesus Christ actually is. Which was hard for me too, because it's like, and what this did actually is it created some self-righteousness. I mean, a big heap of self-righteousness. I've already been where you've been. I believe what you believe. And not only that, I'm more enlightened and I'm more conscious and I'm more understanding of who actually Jesus actually, you know, and so all of this led me to a place where I realized I needed some, how do I say, deliverance. I needed to let go of these feelings of bitterness and resentment that I was holding on to. And I knew that, you know, that they were, and mind you, you know, and these are things that I like I said, needed to get rid of. So, in my revelation of Jesus, you know, one of the things he talks about in John 10 is he says you are God's. And I found that to be extremely interesting. But having studied the Bible, I know that you must take things in context. So to understand the context of the Bible. Okay? I'm gonna have another bite of this papaya. Bueno. You know, I understood that. So I started reading the beginning of John 10. In the beginning of John 10, Jesus is sharing with the Pharisees. He's talking about, he's saying, I'm the good shepherd. He's saying there will be many thieves that come in and try to steal the flock and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, he's saying I'm the shepherd, and I'm the good shepherd, and I'm the gate, and I'm all this stuff. And it's confusing as hell. If you've ever read the Bible, you know. Sometimes it can be interesting to understand and interpret Jesus' parables. Anyways, I go on trying to figure this out. And as time goes by, you know, I wake up one Sunday morning, and sure enough, it was early enough to go to church. And I thought, well, might as well go to church. Hug Church. Pastor Eddie Park, who's a part of my life and a part of my recovery, how do I say, from all this in a very beautiful way. And so I got a lot of love for Eddie Park. I appreciate everything that you did for me through Hug Church. And just you as a man helped me a lot, and I appreciate that dearly. Now, went to church that morning, and, you know, it's a normal message, whatever. You know, and on the way to church, matter of fact, I remembered a dream that I had that same night. And I woke up, and, you know, I remembered the dream. The dream was that these golden rolling hills, and there was a sheep in the hills. And I point the sheep, and I go, Mom, look, that's the sheep that hears the voice of the true shepherd. And the whole morning, I just kind of thought about, but that's weird. What does that mean? You know, that's the voice that hears that's the sheep that hears the voice of the true shepherd. Anyways, I'm sitting there, and you know, pastor's talking about forgiveness. Of course, I've heard it 1,000 times. You know, forgiveness this, forgiveness that. So, but it dawns on me. You know, it hits me as I'm sitting there, looking at every single individual, the head of every single individual as I'm sitting in the back. And one of my gut reactions to Christians was, fuck you. You know? And I start looking at them and realizing I don't hate these people. I don't hate you. That's not what I'm about. You know, and it broke my heart to realize that I had gotten that far. You know, I realized I'm over here pissed off that Christians are being judgmental. What am I? I've been over here pissed off that Christians have a lack of love. What do I have? That they're excluding other people that are different than them because they're different? What am I doing? My God. I'm a hypocrite. And not only that, I realized that day, if you are not careful, you will become the very thing that you hate the most. And that's what I see happening. I see it happening in politics. I see it happening with religion. My friend's mom's brother called her, said, hey, unless you take a firm stand against Donald Trump, I want nothing to do with you. It's like, I don't think that's what he's trying to do, is cause division and separation. He's trying to stand up for what he believes. But until we let go, and I realized I need to let go. Oh my God, I need to let go. I need to forgive. I didn't even realize how much unforgiveness I had built up in my heart. Man, I was to the point where I was going off on people, getting angry and rageful. And you know, the bottom line is that, you know, we want to go out here and we want to think of ourselves as this ideal self that we walk around and we're just generous and loving and accepting. And if we're not careful, we will become the very thing that we hate the most. And it's important to take a good look at ourselves every once in a while, to look at ourselves in the mirror, you know, and not just think of ourselves ideally, but think of ourselves actually. Actually, I am the problem here, you know? And so one of the reasons I started this channel was because I believe firmly that to change yourself is to change the world. And there's an ancient hermeneutic principle that posits that the world is mind. And so I believe to change your mind is to change the world. We must understand ourselves, that we have a tendency to not be what we ideally are, what we ideally think we are. But you know what? It's our personal responsibility to take the power that we've been given, our free-willed autonomous beings, to take a good look at ourselves. If we actually want to make a positive impact in the world, we must take a good look at ourselves, an honest look at ourselves, a truthful look at ourselves. And we must be willing to come to grips with what we actually are. And we must make our ideals for reals. We must turn our ideal self. We have the power, and we must take the stand to make our ideal self, or to manifest our ideal self into our for real self. Well, thank you for watching today, yo. The proof is in the papaya, and this is a good papaya. I can't share this papaya with the rest of the world, but you know what we can do? We can share our heart and our mind, and we can change our heart and our mind. When we change our heart and our mind, to change our mind is to change the world. So I thank you for watching today. My name is Mike Mitch. This is a revolutionary mindset video. Peace, blessings, and love. Sat Nam.